Hey! Oh my god, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what to say. Oh my god, I just beat Future Redeemed this morning, and holy shit, everyone was right. Everyone was right about the fucking ending being, just incredible. The ending changes you. This, wraps up the whole series, and holy shit, it does. Oh my god. There's so much. I don't even know what to start with. There's so much I want to talk about. Fuck. I guess we can just go in order. I don't know. First of all, the whole Niall's dream thing. What the hell was that? Okay, what? There is so much lore in that. First of all, it's so out of place to see Xenoblade in a modern setting. Outside of Xenoblade X, the main numbered series, they're not that advanced. And based on that, it seems like society regressed in what's it called? Not improvement, but regressed in progress? I don't know. Technology, whatever, because it's the modern world, and after Klaus used the Zohar reset the universe, all rest came into being and whatever. It's like very, not primitive, but like, you know what I mean, older. There's not like any big cities like we saw in Klaus's world, and stuff like that. So it seems like they regressed a little bit in advancement, I should say. But that whole area just reminds me a whole lot of Second Miltia, and just, I think just regular Miltia as well. I don't remember, but it reminds me a lot of Miltia, like the overworld map in Xenosaga 2 and 3. I'm pretty sure it's Miltia, but that looks a lot like it. And I already get huge Xenosaga vibes from playing this game anyway, and we'll get on to Xenosaga in a second. But every time I play this game, I just get really strong Xenosaga vibes and get really into the mood of Xenosaga and get a strong urge to play Xenosaga. So don't worry, I will be finishing the Xenosaga playthrough after I upload all these videos about Future Redeemed that I want to do. It's gonna be quite a bit, but I will finally get back to Xenosaga. Of course, bruh, I was starting to get back into Xenosaga and uploading the playthrough again, and then of course, like a day or two later, they dropped the trailer for Future Redeemed. Comes out in a week. I had to make all those Future Redeemed videos. Now the game's out and I had to do my playthrough. Now I gotta do all these post playthrough videos. It's insane. I got so much content to make. I hit 1,000 subscribers when the game dropped, like the day the game dropped, so that's helping. And I'm already almost halfway to 1.1k. It's insane. This whole week has just been absolutely insane for Xenoblade. Oh my god, they dropped some Xenosaga and Xenoblade X references in Niall's dream, or is that Klaus's world? Whichever the cutscene is, it's Klaus's world, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh my god, what does that make Xenoblade X and Xenosaga canon? So are Xenoblade and Xenosaga in the same universe? Because first they just name drop Project Exodus. Now that could be a different Project Exodus just with the same name, but there's too many similarities for it to be a coincidence. First, as like a recap, in Xenoblade X, Project Exodus is a Xenoblade X thing. There's some spoilers for Xenoblade X, by the way, what I'm about to say, and Xenosaga later on in the video, it's a given. So spoilers for Xenoblade X and Xenosaga. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you can leave here now. I mean, it's kind of a given. This whole video is spoiler for the whole series. But in Xenoblade X, Project Exodus was basically the project to build a bunch of arcs, which are basically just giant spaceships, to load around 3 million people onto the arcs and set out to look for a home on a new planet, because Elma, she came to Earth with the technology of scales and the arcs and everything, and warned humanity about a war that was about to happen against the Ganglion and the aliens. They were having a war above Earth, and Earth was destroyed because of all of the alien ships and whatever coming into contact with Earth, and since they're antimatter, a bunch of explosions, everything, and Earth eventually was destroyed. And Elma knew this would happen, so she warned humanity about it, and they raced to complete Project Exodus to build all these arcs and load as many people as they can. Capacity of 3 million people, which is nowhere near enough considering the population of Earth, 7 billion, assuming it's the same in Xenoblade. There's no way to get everyone out. So they took 3 million people, most of which were important, like government officials and just like rich people. So that's part of the reason, that fuels Lao's motives, because, Lao becomes an antagonist later on in the game. And the main reason why he betrayed the humans and sided with the Ganglion is because the humans were basically like selfish and everything. They chose to just bring a bunch of rich people and officials, and Lao's family got left behind. His wife and daughter were left behind, so they died on Earth when it exploded, and he was allowed on to the white whale. I don't remember the reason why he was allowed and they weren't, because he was someone of importance, but because of that, he kind of just despised humans and sided with the Ganglion and became a traitor. Same with Lynn, kind of. Her parents were left on Earth while she was able to make it on the White Whale. I think they gave up their spot and gave it to Lynn, and then, their whole life work was working on Scales and the Scale Flight module, and then, as we know, Lynn finally finished the Scale Flight module in the game. But that's not really important. Whole Project Exodus thing, 3 million people were gathered on the arcs and set out into space for a new planet for home. Unfortunately, all the arcs were destroyed except for one, the White Whale, which is carrying NLA, and then eventually the aliens caught up to, or not aliens, ghosts. I've been saying aliens this whole time. They're called ghosts, not aliens. The ghosts were, they caught up to the White Whale and shot him down over Mira and all of that. So, and then on the radio, which we'll get to in a second, on the radio in Klaus's world, that cutscene, it tells about Project Exodus, and then, the arcs were built for 3 million people, but only 1.5 million made it, or like 1.5 million on each arc. There were 3 of them, 1.5 for 3 million, that's 3 mil. No, it's not. Whatever, doesn't matter. But only 1.5 million people made it out, which I'm pretty sure was the same number in Xenoblade X. So they dropped just the whole Project Exodus thing right there. They were just mentioning casually on the radio. So that kind of maybe hints that Xenoblade X is canon to the Xenoblade timeline. Maybe like same Earth but different like timeline. Since Earth was destroyed in Xenoblade X, there's no way Earth would still be there for all rest to be created. Unless, Klaus reset the universe and brought Earth back, or it's a different dimension with Earth. And that would kind of explain the bright light at the beginning of Xenoblade X. There's like a bright light, and I think somewhere in the game, some character mentions that there's something up with that light, some special event that happened. Something very, very heavily hinting or implying towards the Klaus incident. But not only did they name drop just Project Exodus like that, they also name dropped Dmitry Yuriev, the council person of Minos Authority. And Dmitry Yuriev is a Xenosaga character. He's a major character in the series. In the first 2 games, I don't think he's even in the first game. I didn't hear anything about it. In 2, he had a little bit of a role, I think. And in 3, he becomes a major antagonist. And his main goal was defeating Udo, like getting rid of Udo. So Dmitry Yuriev is a major antagonist in Xenosaga 3, and he was just name dropped in the fucking game just like that. And if that didn't, hint or help at all, the fucking radio that all of that was playing on had the actual fucking Vector Industries logo on it. So just a blatant logo drop right there. If the whole Dmitry Yuriev thing wasn't blatant enough, if you weren't paying attention, there's the actual logo of Vector Industries on the damn radio. So there's 2 Xenosaga references right there, and I think there was another reference to the immigration fleet. I wasn't paying that much attention to that, but holy shit, that could mean that the Xenoblade universe takes place in the same universe as Xenosaga, and a little theory that perhaps the Earth, Klaus's world, before he used the Zohar to reset the universe and split them together when they're all one again, that Earth could be Lost Jerusalem, because of another detail we see at the very, very end of the game, the final cutscene of the entire game. We see a shot of Earth, and then in the corner comes down a blue flashing light that falls towards the planet. And if you know anything about this series, that highly implies that that is fucking Cosmos. That is the end of Xenosaga 3. At the end of Xenosaga 3, we see Cosmos's destroyed body floating out into space towards a planet that looks a lot like Earth. And if you look closely, it kind of looks like you can see a world tree type of thing on there, a space elevator. So the ending of Future Redeem could very well be the ending of Xenosaga, showing Cosmos falling towards the planet, which could be Lost Jerusalem, which we know the party was looking for throughout the series. They're looking for Lost Jerusalem, and this could be Lost Jerusalem. So Xenoblade 2, like Klaus's world, Earth, could be Lost Jerusalem, but there's some inconsistencies with that, being that everyone would know who Dmitry Yuriev is, and there's some comment that was explaining it. I'll put it up on the screen because I don't remember what he said, but there's some inconsistencies with this being Lost Jerusalem, but that could easily be explained as, when Klaus reset the universe, everything reset, everyone forgot, everyone was gone, so no one would know about Dmitry Yuriev and whatever else. So that very well could be Lost Jerusalem, and the entire Xenoblade series was built upon the Xenosaga 3 ending. And seeing this like Cosmos cutscene at the end, this could either be hinting at Xenosaga Trilogy Remaster for 1 and 2 and 3, or a Xenosaga 4. Okay, maybe Monolith Soft or Nintendo finally bought the rights of Xenosaga from Bandai Namco, because in the credits there's a special thanks to Bandai Namco. So perhaps the probably more likely option is that they allowed Monolith to use these references of Xenosaga, or the one I want to believe and hope is true, that they actually sold the rights to Xenosaga to Monolith or Nintendo, so now Monolith can actually continue Xenosaga, because we've seen the popularity of Xenoblade. Xenoblade has become very popular recently, especially compared to Xenogears and Xenosaga. In terms of just like the JRPG space, Xenoblade is a very popular in like mainstream series now. It's still pretty niche in the whole grand scheme of video games, but in terms of its own market, like JRPGs, and compared to the other Xeno games, Xenoblade is very popular. So it could have gotten popular enough to where Monolith Soft has enough money to make a Xenosaga trilogy or even Xenosaga 4, and seeing the popularity of Xenoblade, they could have had enough money to buy the rights from Bandai Namco. They could have not bribed them, but they could have come to a deal that they both agreed upon, and they bought the fucking rights to Xenosaga, and now they're making new games for Xenosaga, and they're hinting at it with the end of this, because this is the end of the Klaus saga. So that wraps up the whole Xenoblade Chronicles story. Xenoblade isn't over. We still have the Mirror Saga with Xenoblade X, so hopefully that will become its own little series, kind of like Metroid. There's the regular Metroid games, and then Metroid Prime, which is its own like mini series. So hopefully we'll get Xenoblade and then like Xenoblade X games, which are its own separate series focusing on the Mirror Saga now that the Klaus saga is over, because the ending of Xenoblade X, massive fucking cliffhangers. 2 different massive cliffhangers, one being about it's the planet, something about this planet, because the Lifehold core was destroyed but everyone was still alive, which shouldn't happen, so the planet is somehow keeping everyone alive. And then after that, when we see Lao laying on the beach and this black figure walks over him and Lao opens his eyes, Lao should be absolutely fucking obliterated right now. He got incinerated in the final fight, so he shouldn't be here. And that black figure could be Elma's partner, who she piloted the Ares 90 with against the ghost attack, when they attacked the white whale and shot it down over Mira. Fuck. So, oh my god, and we know Xenosaga was originally going to be 6 games. So now that perhaps Monolith finally owns the rights to Xenosaga and they're just keeping this all a secret and not like publicly stating it as to like keep it a secret and surprise us when they announce Xenosaga 4 or a Xenosaga trilogy. Maybe they bought the rights to Xenosaga and they're finally making more games on it now that they're popular enough that, and Xenoblade's popular enough that they can actually afford to make these games, because we were originally going to get a Xenosaga remaster of the first 3 games, but Takahashi said, I think it was Takahashi. He's Takahashi or Bandai Namco. Some fucking body important, you know, to something to do with the series, said that yeah, I think it was Takahashi saying he was thinking about making a Xenosaga trilogy and he wanted to, but he decided not to because they wouldn't really profit off of it since there wasn't enough fan support. The fan base for Xenosaga was too small that they wouldn't profit if they did make a trilogy remaster, which is really sad. But now with the explosion and popularity of Xenoblade, more people are finding out about Xenosaga and Xenogears, and more people are starting to play Xenosaga, so a bigger fan base is growing and more people asking for a remaster. And I'm sure Monolith is seeing all this outcry for, you know, Xenosaga and seeing the fan base build, so they're paying attention. Monolith Soft pays attention to the fandom. All right, if this game isn't proof of that, then I don't know what is, because Future Redeemed kind of like wraps up the whole Cloud Saga and even some of Xenosaga. They're just throwing Xenosaga fucking references in there, and they wouldn't just do that out of nowhere. That's not a coincidence. They know what they're doing. They're watching us. They know what they're doing. Okay, they could be saying that we want Xenosaga and they're gonna give us more Xenosaga. Oh my god. Holy shit. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just so damn hype about this shit, bro. Just talking about all of this just gives me so fucking hype. I just got so excited just thinking about this. Just the possibility that we could get a Xenosaga trilogy remaster, or even finally, after all this time, get Xenosaga 4, 5, and 6. Fuck. And then continue the Xenosaga, or like finish the Xenosaga timeline and like the series, because Xenoblade is done in terms of the Cloud series. Got 1, 2, 3. We're done. Time to move on to the Mira Saga or some different saga starting with Xenoblade 4. So maybe, because Perfect Works is done. Perfect Works is done, at least for the Xenoblade side of things. Quick recap of Perfect Works. Xenogears got an art book called Perfect Works, and in that art book we have an entire timeline of Xenogears, because again, Xenogears was also supposed to be 6 games long, but there wasn't enough funding for it. Funnily enough, Square, back at the time Takahashi was working at Square, and that's when he created Xenogears, Square told Takahashi that if Xenogears sold 1 million copies, they would greenlight for a sequel to Xenogears, so like Xenogears 2 or whatever. And sadly, Xenogears only sold 900,000. It was so close. They just needed 100k more sales or copies sold, and we could have gotten Xenogears 2. The whole entire Xeno series could have been vastly different. We could have never had Xenosaga or Blade if Xenogears just sold 100k more copies. So sad. But in Perfect Works, there was a timeline of the entire Xenosaga story, the whole, or Xenogears story. And the game we got, Xenogears, is part 5 of the 6-part story. And each of the 6 games are going to focus on one of each part of the story, but we only got episode 5. And with episode 6 being kind of obscure, and there's not really much information on episode 6. But after he left Square, because, you know, they didn't let him create another Xenosaga or Xenogears game, he was like, whatever, fuck y'all, I'll just make my own shit. So he left, founded Monolith Soft, and then started on a brand new series, the very first series or game called Xenosaga. He started the Xenosaga series, which was supposed to be a retelling of Perfect Works. When I say Perfect Works, I'm referring to the Xenogears story. It's not called Perfect Works itself. That's just the name of the art book. But, you know, the fandom knows that timeline as Perfect Works just for brevity's sake. So he decided to work on Xenosaga, which was just, and he tried to do a retelling of Perfect Works, this time in Xenosaga. And Xenosaga was also again supposed to be 6 parts, but with each subsequent release it started selling less and less, and it was very obvious that Xenosaga was a failing series, and they just couldn't keep on making more games because they'd eventually not profit off of it. So they ended off with Xenosaga 3, but they wrapped up the series with Xenosaga 3 nicely, so it's not like Xenosaga 3 just leaves a lot of stuff unanswered. It wraps up a lot of the story and ends it properly, even though there's still supposed to be 3 more games. So the first 3 games focus on, I'm pretty sure, episode 1 and 2 of Perfect Works. I don't remember, but the reason why episode 1 and 2, like Xenosaga 1 and 2, kind of, they focused more on the characters and learning about the characters, because 6 game long series, they'd have more than enough time to build up all the characters in the story. But unfortunately, we only got 3 Xenoblade games, or Xenosaga games, and it was a failure. And then in 2007, I think, Nintendo bought out Monolith Soft from Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco bought Monolith Soft, and Monolith made the Xenosaga games under Bandai. And then Nintendo bought Monolith off of Bandai, and to increase morale from the failure of Xenosaga, Takahashi decided, let's create a brand new game, and as like a morale boost. So they started on a brand new game called Minato, Beginning of the World, and as they're working on it, the legendary GOAT, the best president Nintendo's ever had, Satoru Iwata, came to Takahashi and was like, you know what, you should make this a Xeno game to kind of honor your legacy and like everything you went through with creating these games, but also as like homage to the Xeno series. So they kind of reworked the game because it was not supposed to be a Xeno game. So they reworked the game into Xenoblade and reworked it into a Xeno game, and it became a success, commercial success. It was basically a gem because it came out so close to the end of the Wii's lifespan. Not many people knew about it, but it was popular enough that there was a fan movement called Project Rainfall, or Operation Rainfall, to get it localized, because at the time it was only released in Japan, but fans had such an outcry for it and were so adamant about getting it released that Monolith and Nintendo localized the game and shipped it worldwide. It became a success, and then that helped the series grow. Everyone loved Xenoblade 1, and then they started working on Xenoblade 2. That one became a big success as well, outselling the first game. And I think Xenoblade 2 is the highest selling Xeno game in general. I'm pretty sure it's the highest selling Xenoblade game. So after the massive success of Xenoblade 2, thanks to the Switch, which I like to call Switch treatment, because a lot of games that come to the Switch just instantly pop off and sell very well because the Switch was just that popular. Thanks to Xenoblade 2's popularity and massive success, we got Xenoblade 3, and the popularity for Xenoblade is just going to keep on going up and up and up from here. More sales, and it's insane. More people are finding out about Xenoblade, which in turn they're finding out about Xenosaga and Gears. So there's a very big chance we're going to get more Xenosaga stuff, since Monolith could have bought the rights to Xenosaga, given the popularity of Xenoblade. But Square Enix is a bitchy company, and they're stubborn, and they won't do anything with Xenogears. They celebrated 25 or 35 year something, I think 25 year anniversary of Xenogears, and put out some merch, but that's it. They won't remaster the game, they won't re-release it, anything. They won't sell the rights to Nintendo or Monolith, nothing. They're not doing anything. They're just keeping the rights and not doing anything with it, which is a shame. But we have a very high chance of getting some Xenosaga stuff, so I'm so excited about that. I kind of just went on for a while about Xenosaga there. I really like the series. If you couldn't tell, I'm only on the second game, so I haven't played 3. I haven't played much. I played a little bit of 3, but not much. But I'm on the second game. I beat the first one. I'm playing 2 right now, and I'll get back to that playthrough on the channel soon. But I'm loving Xenosaga. It's an incredible series, and some aspects of it I like even more than the Xenoblade games, which is nice. But we could be getting some more Xenosaga stuff. And not only that, I'm sorry, I keep talking about Xenosaga, but there was this tweet from some company. This company likes to take old out-of-print games and kind of like re-release them and refurbish them, like old mobile games. And I don't know, I can see if I can find the tweet, but they were asking, oh, what game would you like to see re-released from like old phones that aren't available anymore, like old mobile games. And the majority of the replies were Xenosaga Pied Piper. Just, I'm pretty, like all of the replies that I saw, most of them, like 98%, everyone was just saying Xenosaga Pied Piper, Pied Piper, Pied Piper, Pied Piper. I even did my part, but there's the whole tweet is just Xenosaga Pied Piper. So that also shows the popularity that Xenosaga is getting. And seeing all of that, I'm sure Monolith has seen all that, you know, that public demand for Xenosaga Pied Piper. So we could finally be getting an official re-release of Xenosaga Pied Piper and actually play it for the first time. Xenosaga Pied Piper was a kind of like a spin-off game. It's not really a spin-off. It still has canon lore and very important lore about Ziggy. The game is about Ziggy's backstory. And the only way to play it was way back, a very long time ago, on it was like a Japanese only, basically phone game, and that was the only way to play it. But now that it's defunct, there's no way to play Pied Piper, and this could be our very first chance to physically play it officially. So I'm very excited about that. I cannot wait. And then maybe we'll get like an official Xenosaga Missing Year like remaster that. I'm not sure if I don't know if that's like a bunch of cutscenes or reading. I'm not sure. I still haven't looked into that, but I'm gonna have to do that. But yeah, Xenosaga has been getting a lot of attention lately, and I'm so happy because I want so badly to get a Xenosaga 4 or a remaster of the trilogy. Seeing the whole Xenosaga gang in HD would be fucking phenomenal. But that's enough about Xenosaga. I almost went on half an hour just ranting about Xenosaga. Niall's a playable character. No, not playable, sadly, but Niall's a party member. I can't even tell you how badly I wanted Niall to be a party member. Ever since the game was announced and then all the way up to release and then during my playthrough, I just kept saying how I wanted Niall to be a party member, a playable character. I hope Niall's a playable character, and then at the end of the game, after you beat the game, she becomes a party member. But unfortunately, she's more like a hero and you can't even play as her, which is a shame because we literally play as her in one of the fights near the end of the game where we play as Niall fighting N. So I don't know why they could just have made her a fucking playable character. That made no damn sense. But Niall's a party member and she's so cool. But I love Niall. I wanted so bad for her to be playable, but I guess her being a hero is better than nothing. And then Rex and Shulk are heroes in the base game after you beat Future Redeemed. And it's kind of funny because before the game dropped, I made a tweet like, oh, calling it now, the last hero slot is going to be Elvis as a clear bonus for beating Future Redeemed. I was so close. I was actually so close. Instead of Elvis, it's Shulk and Rex. And they are, you know, a clear bonus for beating Future Redeemed after you beat Future Redeemed and then go into Xenoblade 3 and beat the final time attack challenge battle. After you beat that, you get Shulk and Rex as heroes. And a cool detail is that if you have Rex in the party, you know, as your hero, the Xenoblade 2 battle theme will play in combat. And then same thing for Shulk. If you have him, the Xenoblade 1 battle theme will play. I find that super dope, and I'm gonna be like, I'm just never gonna take Rex out the party now because first of all, it's Rex. Second, it's the Xenoblade 2 battle theme, so I'm just gonna bring him everywhere. So cool. Oh my god, this is the perfect way to end off the game. end off the series, the Xenosaga at least. Holy shit! One thing I don't like about Future Deem though is that there's no New Game Plus, and that is pretty disappointing. But I think I know why, because either they didn't want us having Nael in the party during the game because it'll kind of like break immersion and lore reasons. Fighting Nael with Nael, that wouldn't really make any sense. But that's not really what's it called, a reason, because we can have Melly and Nia as heroes in the party during New Game Plus for base game. And Xenoblade 2 and New Game Plus, you start with Pyra and Mithra, so you can fight Pyra with, or you can fight Malos with Mithra, and you can use Mithra before you get Mithra. And even in Torna, all the party members are active from the jump in New Game Plus. So like Mithra and Adam fight, you can fight Mithra with Mithra. There's just it makes no sense why New Game Plus isn't a thing for Future Deem. But then I also thought maybe because they didn't want you getting multiple unlock kits for like affinity, growth, arts, gems, accessories, they didn't want you to have duplicates of those kits. But that wouldn't really matter either, because then you can just take them out of New Game Plus, like remove them from the game in New Game Plus, or having duplicates won't really hurt anything. I don't understand. So I don't know why there's no New Game Plus. Hopefully, I doubt there's going to be another update for the game, since the patch that released Future Deem was pretty sure the last patch of Xenoblade 3. So unfortunately, we're probably not going to get New Game Plus. That's very disappointing. That limits the replayability a lot. So I like playing New Game Plus. I've played New Game Plus on Xenoblade 2 like 13 times now already. Torna I've played a couple times. Xenoblade 3, I'm on my first New Game Plus playthrough right now. Same with Xenoblade 1. So I like playing New Game Plus a lot. And unfortunately, there's not any New Game Plus for this, which is disappointing, but I mean, I guess it's okay. I don't know. I'm almost 100%ed the game already. I got 100% Collectopedia for Aurora Shell, Vermilion Woods, and Ragnos Desolation, I think. I just need Black Mountains and Ragnos Desolation. I got 100% for yesterday. But the game's incredible. The fucking Alvis, bro. What is that for? What is that second form? What is that second form? What the hell was that? Like when he turned into a fog beast, like, oh, Alvis is a fog creature, and then we saw his true form. What the fuck was that second form, bro? That was unreal. That looks like something straight out of Bayonetta. Like with it looks like Temperantia a little bit, not the not the Titan from Xenoblade 2, but the enemy from Bayonetta. Looks a little bit like Temperantia. What's with like religion? Not religion, but like statues, I guess religion, but like statues of gods and whatever, having those baby faces in games, because in Bayonetta a lot of some like the angel bosses have that baby face. Now Alvis has the baby. What's with that baby face shit? Anyway, that form was insane. That second form was fucking insane. What was that? Where did that come from, bro? What? And then a nice little detail is ends sort of the end, and Matthew's fists of the end are Logos and Numa respectively, because after Shulk was like, if only those two were here. No. Fuck. Rex was like, if those two were here, I don't think they would complain one bit or something. And then it immediately cuts to the Sword of the End and Matthew's fists of the end. And funny, and I mean, it kind of confirms, because the Sword of the End has the same purple glow as Malos, and then fucking Matthew's fists of the end literally have the Aegis core, have Numa's Aegis core. So if that doesn't show it, then I don't know what does. So I guess Logos and Numa, they're like spirits, I guess, are in those weapons, which is a really cool detail. All three Aegises right there. We get to see our two Aegises back. But holy shit, that ending, and then Shulk name dropping Alvis, that got me so hype. I've been waiting the entire game for that. I don't know why. That was one of the hypest moments for me. I know it's kind of lame, but I wanted so bad for someone to name drop Alvis. And the only other time was at the very beginning, the very first cutscene of the game, when Shulk was like, tell me why, is this really what you want, Alvis? And then at the end, with Alvis, or same person, Rex and Shulk were walking to the portal and were about to leave. When Rex and Shulk gave their life force to Nicole and Glimmer respectively, or Glimmer and Nicole respectively, Shulk was like, thank you, Alvis. And I lost my shit. Like, oh my god, he name dropped, he called A Alvis, finally got the Alvis name drop. And it was great. So I mean, A is Alvis, we already know that. So that's Alvis confirmed, as everybody suspected. But damn, that ending was fuck, bro. The whole Xenosaga stuff really stuck with me the most, and the Xenoblade X references. The whole ending with Klaus's world, that was like probably my favorite cutscene in the game, because it's just so different and just massive lore implications. It's just huge. This game was incredible. I loved everything about it. Oh my god. Rex and Shulk sacrifice themselves at the end, even though Shulk says it's not like that, we're just helping. They basically sacrifice themselves. Fucking Alvis dies and fades away. It's the goddamn, oh my god. And then the ending of the game just hints at Xenosaga. So what is happening? I'm so excited. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. Oh my god, I can't. That game's incredible. I can't wait to play it again. The series is finally over. The endless now has come to an end. This is the end of the Klaus saga. Now on to the Mirror Saga, or the Xenosaga. So whatever else we get next, I'm definitely looking forward to, but we're gonna have to wait a while, which I don't really want to do, but you don't have a choice. But yeah, that was insane. I'm so excited to see what's next. And yeah, that's really about it. So as always, thanks for watching. Have a damn good day. Stay safe, be well, and play some goddamn Xenoblade.